Let's start today's session, the daily dose, which we do 2 p.m., right? Monday to Friday. Right. So let's. Hi, Shakti.
Yes, sir, I said.
And I hope Manju is also there.
Yes, I think.
Okay, she is. Okay, fine. So we got some company. You can see the other person, Sri Lekha. She's already there on the screen. Other side of our screen is the one and only Mr. Karthik Swaminathan. Okay, right. So let's begin. So yeah, there's another screen. Which is being turned around for him. Okay, so let's begin. And so today we are going to attempt a new thing, right? Which is singular plurals, and we were covering nouns and pronouns, the various type of pronouns. We did cover nouns, and then we also did various kind of pronouns, and which we completed, various types of that, right? Which we completed, and if we have seen the quiz as well, it was based on that. Right. So now what we will do is like we will do. It is not as a per se. It is not a part like if you say nouns or adjectives or verbs and stuff like that. But singular plurals are very essential things in the language English or any language as well. Right. So we are going to touch base on those, and we are also going to look at some of the words as well, and how it's so easy for you can make some singular words into plural, which is much easier. But there are some where the word can remain the same, or the word does change, or the word does change completely as well, right? So these are the things which we are going to look at. Right. So the first thing is like, so if you see this particular picture, right, it is not only a picture, a slide as well. So the first thing is like there are a lot of stuffs. Let me read the first part. So nouns can be categorized as singular or plural based on their number. As simple as that, right? So how do we differentiate between singular and plural? So anything which is a single is singular, which is more than one is plural, isn't it? So that is what it is. It's based on the numbers. Okay. Singular nouns can be made plural by adding s, very simple, es, ies, and ves. So it's not like everywhere you will add that s, like a dog, you will say dogs, right? Or rats, right? So, but it's not necessary. For example, bench. So you can't say bench, right? So it has to be benches, right? If you say lie, which is a singular lie, lie is like line. So lie will become lies, right? And there are words which will become ves, right? So we will look into that. So this is the major difference between, and this is why you should know. Sometimes what happens is like over a period of time you have read so much, you have written so much, so you would know. Like baby, when you write in plural, which you'll see in the example as well, it is not baby, so it is IES, right? So over a period of time, since you know these words by heart, the plural, it comes automatically. But those who are learning, it is best to know, right? And so there are plenty of examples which we'll see today. While in some cases, the plural form of the noun is indicated by change in its spelling itself. You will see a lot of these words, right? So the spell itself will change. For example, knife, right? So it is there in the next slide. So the spell of the knife itself changes. Wife, right? When we say wives, so that itself will change, right? And there are nouns that remain unchanged as well, right? For example, a noun like sheep, sheep. When you write in plural form, it still remains sheep only, right? So this is what it is. When you say air, right? Air itself is air, so it is not air. Water, right? So water itself is water. So these are some of the plurals and singular which remains the same. So if you look at some of the pictures, first is the cars, which is very easy. A tomato will become tomatoes, es. So this is the ES which will fit in there. And then you've got strawberries. So IES, strawberries. Okay, and similarly fly and flies. Right, so this is what it is. So let's look at some of these pictures or maybe the slides. List of singular and plural words. Right, so the first, this particular box is very simple, which says dog, dogs, bird, birds, cow, cows, boy, boys, girl, girls, teacher, teachers, computer, computers, way, ways. Right. So this is the next one. It's not tricky as such, but it is slightly bit different, easier, not that easier compared to the first one. So here it is EX, ES, sorry. So it becomes box, boxes, tax, taxes. So we don't say tax, right? So we say taxes. Match, matches. I said bench, benches. Potato, potatoes. Chili. So here IES. So there is one more addition. IES. Rally, rallies. So baby, babies. Poppy, poppies. Right. So this is what it is. So you have EX and IES. Right. So the next slide is a slide which is slightly a bit tricky. Right. So this is where the spell itself changes. Right. When we say calf, so the young one of a cow or maybe, right. So we say calf. So it is calves. So VES. So if you look at the spell, not much, VES. So leaf, right? When we say leaf, so which is a single one, leaves. So you see there's a big change which is happening, VES. So the F is taken off or removed, right? So this is one change you need to note. So there is no F when we say leaves, right? So that is something, unless and until you know, you may not be able to write it down, right? But once you know, and then you will be able to use it whenever you know, you will remember it. So wife I did mention. So wife, right, becomes wives. So the F is off, the V comes in place of that, wives. So when we say knife, right, KNIFE, so you see the V is coming in again, right, the F is off. So it looks like a pattern. If you see leaf, wife and F, the F's are off, right? So fairy, any fairy tale and stuff like that, fairies, right? This fairies could be also the fairies where you use a transportation, maybe a boat, ferry. Children, children, EN. So man, it becomes men. It's good to know this one because it will be men, right? Women become women, right? So tooth, so becomes teeth, right? And foot become feet. Alumnus become alumni. Crisis, there's a change. ES, crisis. Brother-in-law becomes brothers-in-law. Mouse becomes mice, right? Mice. And there are some questions based on this itself. So today's the Q&A. Son-in-law becomes sons-in-law. Analysis becomes analysis, right? So this is what it is. So yes, Karthik, you want to add on something on this?
I'm just recollecting my childhood days. It's open.
Yeah.
So thanks for the wonderful session, Saravanan, because I am just recollecting my very old school days, and I am very scared when the English teacher enters into the classroom. So I am the first person to go out of the class because the reason being is I am poor at my grammar when I was at my school days. So, but it is not that very difficult to learn a language or to improve the communication. So even in one of the session, I mentioned it to increase the vocabulary. You need to read more words. Then probably later on you can convert that words into a better sentences. So the grammatical part is more and more important. But rather than you need to understand how to use the words effectively. That will give a very clear impression to the person who is reading that either a mail or a message. Even nowadays, we have a bad habit of using short messages in WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So somebody using that your means, some people will forget what is the exact word which we need to use for your. we are using a short word as you are. So sometimes we'll get confused when we go for a typing, because it's a system enabled messages and all. So you can get it quickly. But when you go for a written examination, by the time only you will face all these challenges. You will struggle to use the correct word. So I would suggest you can go and read as many as words as possible, increase the vocabulary, and even Saravanan is doing a wonderful job, and he is putting a lot of efforts to take some basic details. So he is not going to give a big lecture. You can be a kind of poetry or something like that. You need to be very strong in fundamentals. So he is putting a lot of efforts, and he is taking some basic examples that any layman can understand the particular word. So how to relate the word, how to frame that word into sentences without having any grammatical mistake. So that's my viewpoint. It's not a suggestion, it's just a view from my side.
Well said, Karthik, because grammar, I know there are a lot of people who speak good English.
Yeah.
Sir, your mic is on mute.
I thought it will be you. Okay, fine now. Yeah. So what I was saying is, Shakti, sometimes people run off from grammar, right?
Grammar, yeah.
And so it is good to rekindle a memory and go in a deep dive. I kept saying yesterday as well, there are a lot of things in grammar you may not need it when you write and read. But these are the information, especially singular plural, definitely you will need when not while speaking, right? But definitely while writing. Otherwise, there will be an error. So that is what it is. One thing I want to pick up from what Karthik said is like, see, he said don't use the short form and stuff like that. So yeah, that is one thing. And another very important thing is like, whenever you send a message, this is one tip I would like to share. That the same habit will brush into other stuff as well. So that is one clue. And also, as he said, if you know the full form, great. If you know the word properly, but short forms, right? If you want to avoid it, so that's also a good way. So Srilekha, anything you want to add? You want to add?
As Karthik said, the same thing I would like to highlight here. This is a very big. Because let us do especially when
One thing which I want to add here is so we are not going to why that error was happened, what story. So to the point which I want to communicate in the process. If we want to email, because the client is already escalated that error was happening. Impress the client, obviously it will turn into an escalation again, because the client is asking waiting for a day. The client doesn't have the time to read the story and he just replied back to a fire email saying that I just need an explanation, I just need an answer. Because we need to be a little careful. Like I said, you need to increase your vocabulary, means don't use your vocabulary in those situations. So that time you need to be at the core to answer to the question which has been asked by the client.
Well said. Actually, you should be aware of the gravity of the situation. You never know. Maybe you might be thinking, let's add some humor and all that. Humor will get into.
I personally agree, because when I promoted as a PL or maybe a SFP in a particular process, when the escalation comes, I know the process.
Yeah.
Because it's a claim process, but I understood that I know the process completely, so I need to teach them. So I need to mentor them in such a way in an email, the client will not understand because it is their process.
Correct.
So they identify an error on my process, but I need to first accept that one, then why that error was happened. I need to give a only reason it will not happen in the future, the near future. Because by the time I written a big story, no, this is what this came, nobody is going to read that email. Even though you are an expert in the process, but before you took the process from me, I am an SME for this process. So you need to be a little careful while using tricky words in an email. Because you will not understand how the other person will read your email.
Correct.
That's more and more important.
And also, one more thing, which is one more thing is like you were saying, it's like when there is an error which has happened, put your hand up and say, yeah, there is an error.
Accept it.
Simple.
Accept it and move on. Because
Close
if you
the
want
chapter.
to
Yeah.
debate that one in further,
Yeah.
but you can have a conversation over phone. Probably you can have it. So probably you can have a conversation on phone. But rather than picking up the phone and inform the customer or the client, if you start writing on the email, because you know when to email.
While writing, right, which is very speaking, we don't say we can use to say, hey, this is the red thing. Right, so that is one. So no matter how much we use, but do I know? Do Saravanan, Sri Lanka or Karthik know? So that is something, this is a takeaway where it's always good to learn on your own, and you can always depend on these kind of help, right? We always do that. We go to Google and check out something. So that is a message which I want to leave with. And well, it's fabulous. We have.
It's because of it's 5 minutes additional time today.
Add a message, not 5 minutes extra today. Right?
No.
With that, add a message.
Correct. See, when we
Find the experience, right?
Experience.
So apart from the grammar,
Government is one of the support person. So even I had personal experience, because the teacher, I am the first person to go because definitely she picked me up, because the intention of the teacher is
the more you write, somebody will pick you up.
Yeah. So when you hide yourself, from your friend who is sitting next to you, definitely the teacher, this person doesn't know.
Correct.
Because the teacher's intention should not find the mistake. She has to teach her correct, and with that knowledge, you can be a kind of better person in the future.
True.
So don't be shy. Even though when you are pronouncing something badly, also try to correct yourself. So that's the first point in learning. So do mistake, but the mistake should not happen on the same time, again and again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Couple of things. What Karthik said is like while we are learning, If we are shy, if we are afraid, or if you think what others will think, we can never learn. So that is one thing. And but Karthik also said repeated thing, maybe once or twice and thrice, 10 times you're doing the same thing. Then boss, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. Somewhere down the line, you need to put that into your head and say that no, boss. So I need to change. So that is what it is. It's always good to do these kind of thing. No, it is very well.
Good,
No.
good. Yes.
So it was fabulous. So we can get on to FM Sri Lanka after we should.
Definitely.
This kind of session, I would suggest Saravanan should not act as a teacher and we should not be a kind of student. So it should be a kind of interactive session.
Correct.
Then only you can share your own experience as well. So that, say for example, if Saravanan is sharing some experience, I am going to learn something new.
Correct.
If I am sharing my own experience, probably Saravanan can add on these things in the next session.
Yeah.
So it will only be useful for everyone.
True.
And moreover, considering the current market condition, if somebody is teaching you at a free of cost, please make use of that.
Absolutely.
Yes, actually, nowadays the English online classes and all, it's very costly. It's not the matter of money, but I'm just saying quality how far it depends. But when the people are going to just spend 15, 20 minutes,
At the recent past, I started watching YouTube debates. So in those days, yesterday I watched one of the debates. They started with a chat GPT. Because even in Tirupur, it's now available in chat GPT. So 8,000 words or 8 lakh words they have put in database. But from where they put this, they are bringing from either book or something. Because chat GPT cannot go and take all these because the older method is always will be helpful. Because nowadays reading PDF documents or maybe in any other format is not going to help you rather than making a physical book.
Correct.
Because that will be more, what I can say, it's more touch. It's more touch because you are interacting with the book. Because it is not that you are just reading, there are big differences between your reading and interacting. When you read, you just read. It's like a maths or any subject. Okay, you just read, you get the scores and you forget that stuff. But English or any other language, it is not like that. If you learn something, you start using it on a day-to-day basis. Whether it's personally or officially. So it is not going to get wasted. So probably you guys can, even I have a bad habit of reading books, but I get knowledge from some other sources.
it's not very good at interacting a lot.
So that's what, when you speak with people, you should be a listener first. You should be a best listener.
Correct.
If you start with continuously speaking, you will not allow the other person to speak first.
Correct.
So you will lose the opportunity of learning something new from the other person. So it's always better to keep interacting with people. Even though when you started communicating things, even I put so many messages on our DC reader group or in DC Live group. I never use the shortcut group. If you can read my messages, even if not email also, I will put it in the exact way because then only it will give an impression for me. So I will never forget this words with the correct, what do you call it? I can say the word is used very correctly
Correct form.
in the correct form. So if you started using that as a practice, so it will be much helpful for all of us. It's not only for you; it will be helpful for all of us.
Brilliant. So whatever you learn, put into practice. Maybe that is the key takeaway we can wind up with. One thing that I wanted to add is, like, I see there are a lot who come for training, they learn English and stuff like that. After that, the moment they go out of the session, they stop using the session. They even find but it was very intense. So that is something which is interesting as well.